If you know Novak Djokovic, tell him I like to beat him. Yeah. So, you know, if he beats me, I give him a perfume.
Okay, Jan, it's a pleasure to meet you and welcome to eaudeviktor.
It's nice to have you here.
Okay, Jan, as the man behind the brand Puredistance, I want to let you know from where I'm from, that is Serbia, and especially, you know, Balkan region, it is a status symbol to own a piece of your work. And I want to ask you, what's it like for you to be man behind a brand that, you know, is so successful, you know, not only in that region but all over the world?
Okay, starting with the status symbol, there's nothing wrong with cherishing the fact you have something unique and you see it as a status symbol, as long as you have purchased Puredistance or whatever you purchase for the beauty of it, because you truly like it, and not only to show off. That's my personal point of view. I create to make people happy because they love the fragrance, because when they see the box they feel the satin. So it's a pleasure to the nose, it's a pleasure to the feeling, it's a pleasure to the eyes, and it's like a total experience, a pleasing of the senses to make you feel relaxed and happy in a world that can be very tough. Yep. And then, as I just said, if you then are like, okay, I feel special because it's so exclusive, and you say it's like a status symbol, fine. But if it's just to show other people I'm rich, it's not good. Yeah. This is my personal point of view. Okay. I create to make people happy from an intrinsic point of view. You ask me how I feel about it. Yes. Whenever I travel, we're selling in 40 countries worldwide. I'm still partly like a child. How is it possible? I started in 2002 with an idea. 2007 everything was ready. Took me 5 years to work out the first project, and there is still the surprise of a child. How is it possible that something like my baby has grown, that in 40 countries, in the most prestigious places, Puredistance is conceived as top of the bill. And obviously I feel proud as well, because I'm like, wow. Yes. You know, wow, wow, wow. Yes. And I hope the kind of childlike surprise will never stop, because the moment you're like, yes, yes, yeah, you start to get arrogant or blasé, and I don't want. So I hope I will always have the eyes of a child when I see my product and think, how is it possible?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting also that, you know, as I mentioned, it is a status symbol. It's also a status symbol in our fragrance world, because you start at with some perfumes, then you go to niche perfume, and then you buy all these brands. And when you have Puredistance, that like symbolizes that, you know, you reach the, you know, the top of the game, as it say. Yeah. So it in that way.
Maybe it shows you have good taste, and it shows like you have. It takes time to appreciate a good wine.
Yes.
It takes time to appreciate a good person. You know, yes. It's not always easy to judge a character, and once you can, you're master.
Yes.
And if it's this what you mean with status symbol, you mastered the mountain of perfume. I like it. Yeah, thank you.
Also, yeah, that's the idea. Okay. Also, I like to ask you, because this is the brand that people usually find where, as I told you, they're somewhere near the end of the game. They're not finding this brand, you know, at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you, what is the idea behind the name Puredistance?
Well, the idea is, I was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, half waking, half dreaming. There was this dream of a party. It was the time, around 2000, of the nouveau riche having a lot of money before the economic crisis hit the world. The dot-com crisis took away a lot of money. Anyway, people were celebrating very loud and very drunk and very vulgar, and shouting with logos and being vulgar and very rich, and it was a vulgar, loud party. And at a certain moment, a lady steps in the room of the party. She's dressed only in a white dress, that's it, no logos, nothing. And she's beautiful, like Michelle Pfeiffer, like Grace Kelly, beautiful from herself in a simple way, and everyone shuts up, everyone is shocked. Why? She creates distance through her purity, through her so pure distance. So I said, I want to have a beautiful brand that's really beautiful, but from the inside and the outside, but without shouting, without saying, oh, we're the best, without too much bling bling. And it should be beautiful starting from the inside, and that's the perfume. So only perfume oil, the best quality. It takes years to develop a pure distance, one perfume. And then when to the outside, it should complement the inside. So the best leather, handmade. I personally sign every certificate. And this means exclusive. You think I can sign 1 million copies a year? No. 100,000? No. So everything, and that, so pure distance basically stands for, in a pure way, you take a distance from the mainstream, from the mass, from the fake, from the, that's pure distance.
Really fantastic explanation. I'm really happy to know that now. And before we speak about the newest one, which is Enodos, I'd like to ask you about one. Could you please hold the microphone? I'm gonna get it. The one that caught my attention, the first one actually that I've tried from your brand, and actually that's Pure Distance M. What is the story behind it, and what did you have in mind when you were, creating this one? Because it's so masculine, it's so raw, and I really love that.
Okay. First, I'm gonna surprise you. During events, what I usually do when I talk about M, the first thing I do is I show the bottle like this. And M, everyone says, oh, M, masculine, man. And I turn it upside down. And what do you read?
Wow.
What do you read? And what is it?
Women.
Yeah.
Women.
30%, 40% of our sales of M goes to women. Wow. And you wouldn't think this, right? Wow. And my philosophy is, because what the starting point was this, when I was young, I had a fascination like most, well, a lot of young or older boys, James Bond, right? The world of James Bond. Fast cars, beautiful women, suits, everything, wow. Yes. But there was no university that teaches you to be James Bond, so I never, but anyway, James, so I thought I wanted to have a perfume built around that world, and as a symbol I took the Aston Martin DB6, the gray one, the one with Sean Connery, the one of the most beautiful cars ever made, in gray gunmetal. So the 17.5 flacon is like a bullet, it's gun gray metal. And I asked Roger Dove, who really got this brief, of the leather interior of a vintage Aston Martin with the sweat and the sensual kind of distillation of James Bond in the leather. Wow. Well, now we're getting somewhere, right? Yes. And this is M. So what happens when a woman smells it on her skin? She's wearing the world of James Bond, and maybe James Bond himself. She's wearing it on her body. Wow. What could be more exciting? Yeah. So I think many women subconsciously, they have their perfect man with them all the time when they wear M. Wow. And men, they feel like James Bond. They feel excited. They feel like sensual. So this is, in short, the history and the world behind M. And then M happens to be the boss of James Bond in the movie. So that's another joke about, James Bond.
This is really interesting. I didn't know it was that exciting, just one letter, but that's huge, interesting, and real story. It was not imaginative like all other brands. Cool, really cool. And now I'd like to ask you about the newest one. Could you tell us, about the idea and everything, about Enodos?
Yeah, if you have 1 second.
No problem. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it here. And as you can see, guys, there's a small one and the bigger one. So yeah, let's talk about Enodos.
At a certain moment, I was realizing that despite the fact that I had some wonderful perfumes, including Black and M, I was wearing them occasionally. There still was not a fragrance in our range, I would say, is my signature scent that I could wear frequently. Okay. So I thought Antoine Lee, with one I did white, black, he did Warsaw, and great perfume. I said, Antoine, I need my own signature scent, right? So talking about signature scent, it's what I like. Well, what I like, what I really love.
I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt you. Is it a coincidence that these two are matching right now?
Coincidence doesn't exist. Well, this was a deliberate. This was not a divine intervention. No, this was a rational decision to wear something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, what I want is one of the happiest moments always in my life is after I played tennis. I played tennis quite professionally and intense. It's the shower. My whole body is,
Covered in sweat.
broken down in pieces after the match, and now I'm like, oh. And then I take something fresh, as a shower gel, and I feel like in heaven. So I said the perfume should start cool and fresh, because that's a fantastic moment always. But there are 1,000 fresh fragrances, all around Bergamo, nothing special. And all these fragrances are more or less the same. It's fresh and that's it, because there's no life after. Fresh fragrances, you cannot have them for 12 hours being fresh.
Yes.
The Bergamo dies away. It's end of story. I said, but that's not pure distance. Pure distance is not like I can have something that everyone has and it stops.
Yeah.
It should, because the next magic moment after the shower is when you cool down. You take on a nice suit and maybe go to a club or a bar, and the more sensual phase starts, and you feel sensual because, it's the dry down of your body. And now I want to have I like woody stuff, a kind of woody, sensual skin scent. Not boom in your face, but close to the skin.
Yes.
Well, Antoine said, okay, sorry, impossible. We cannot have fresh, and then sensual, warm, and then never done. I said, well, but we can try. So we tried for 3 years. And every time we found that it was nice, but it didn't last long, or the freshness was very quickly done, or this sensuality was lacking. So, but we continued, and I thank Antoine a lot for that he always, was very patient.
Yes.
Every time I go to Paris and we work. At the final moment we had the composition, but we had to raise the level of perfume oil to 48%, which is unprecedented. It's
Is it allowed?
It's allowed once the ingredients are that you use. Some ingredients you can only use maybe 2%, but if this is within IFRA regulations, So the perfume now starts very fresh, and they call it the wow effect, the bloggers, and then it develops into something complex and like a skin scent, but pretty sensual. On your skin it will be a long time, but not everyone notices, and this is also me. I don't want to get noticed too much. That Annie Buzantian once said when we worked on Pure Distance 1, when I leave the room, I want the perfume to leave with me, which I thought was pretty sophisticated. Yeah, and I noticed in your clothes stays forever. It's a very versatile. You can use it to basically to make your clothes give a fantastic scent. You can have the freshness, and for your partner or someone more intimate, you will have a very sensual skin scent.
Yes.
So it's a special, not an easy. It's a complex fragrance. The reason it's blue, it's because the name I noticed is inspired by Aeolus, which is the Greek god of the winds. And Aeolus used to blow a long time ago in the midst a very sensual southern wind along Sicily, Greek islands. Very, when you have this warm wind, it's very sensual and it's so nice on the skin. You're from the south of Europe, you know what I mean. But at the same time, you could have a very nice chilling, cooling wind. So I thought he combines those two phases. Why not change Aeolus into Ainotus, the notes, notus, Latin, the notes of the wind. And us is the Latin ending, and that means there's some complexity, there is the maturity of the Latin language, so Ainotus.
Really interesting.
Really? Okay. And this is a magazine I made for. I noticed. Later on, you can you can montage it into the movie, but you will see that I'm wearing blue clothes. This is original pictures when I was young. I had a blue old Jaguar 12 cylinder. I was 30, but the same color blue. And when I was even younger, you see my mother already knew what was meant to be. She dressed me and I noticed blue. So this is my mother. So I choose my favorite color for the packaging, for the satin, for, in this case, the stand. So it's a very personal project.
Really interesting. I'm really happy that I heard this. I'm really happy to have the opportunity to share with everyone this, because this is really special, and I haven't heard this level of storytelling and based on real things soon. So yeah, really thank you for this. And at the end of the video, I'd like to ask you, what is the idea? Because usually brands have a 100 milliliter bottle and 50, and that's it. Why 17.5 milliliter bottle like this one?
Okay. Well, first of all, we think it's important that whatever wallet you have, you can try Puredistance. So we're starting with the Discovery Kit, which is less than 100 euros, and basically it's a whole collection, but 2 milliliters.
Yes.
So I'm from Holland, which, as you know, maybe I would say it's a capitalist socialist country,
Yes.
but on every level we're fine. So if you're poor in Holland, it's not poor like in other countries. It means you cannot have holidays 4 times a year, but we take very well care of all of our people, and we pay our taxes, and the taxes are well spent.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, to me, it was a bit like, okay, we are maybe one of the most prestigious or one of the luxury brands in the world, but still it would be nice if anyone really interested in perfume could try us. Okay, with the Discovery Kit, anyone can try the whole collection, because anyone can afford, if he really loves perfume, 69 or 79 euros. Below 200 euros, this is 175 euros, which is a lot of money, but it's not 1,000 euros, it's not 500 euros. So if you save your money, this is accessible. 17.5 milliliter means, for Puredistance, a long time, because you don't spray like this. Some people do, it's not necessary. If you know one spray will do and take you a long time. So this will take you, especially if you only use for special occasions, it will take a long time. And then maybe it's less expensive than something from the Douglas, which costs you 70 euros, which is eau de toilette, and you spray like that, and before you know, you need another bottle. So this means 17.5, it's accessible, and it's easy to take with you. It's like a travel spray, and it's cool.
Yeah, could you show us how it works with this travel pack?
This you can take with you like that, but if you want to protect it from enemy number 1, obviously light, and then temperature, do it in the chic aluminium leather case. And I don't have any pockets, I can't.
Really nice. Wow.
It's chic. It's nice, but understated chic. It's not bling bling. It's understated chic, like everything we do. So this always goes with the packaging, the aluminium holder, and if people say we love the fragrance, the cost per milliliter. You see, no, I don't have the 60 mil here right now. The 60 mil, it's 295 euros. So per milliliter, that's the best option we have, and it's packaged like this, but a little bit bigger box. All our packaging is similar. It's the fantastic idea of gifting, because this is like wow. Everything, as I saw, signed personally, all the boxes. And then if you feel like I want to have the biggest, the best of the best in terms of quantity, it's 100 ml, and it has the handmade leather holder, and it has a similar case, again with the certificate but bigger. And this is when money is not a problem, then this is 500 euros, and this will take a long while before you're done with it. So that's the reason. because I wanted to give the people choice.
Yes, I understand.
If I would only do this one, a lot of people simply cannot afford 500 euros and they would not be able to wear Puredistance. And now, if you really want, you can save up your money and you can.
Yes, totally agree. Also, really interesting. Sorry, thank you for your time. And before we take off, I'd like to ask you if you want to say anything to your fans and your followers of your work in Serbia and Southeastern Europe.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really think Victor is a super enthusiastic and positive guy, and I'm happy that he came over. I hope that people in Serbia will thanks to Victor and other people, be educated about perfume, because perfume is like wine, it's like women, it's like literature, it's like anything else in the world. Also, man, to learn about someone's character takes a while, right? The character of a good wine, the character of a good perfume, it takes a while. Thanks to people like Victor, you get educated. And there's nothing nicer than development and educating yourself. And then, if you like Puredistance, thank you, man, for stepping into the viewer. If you like Puredistance, you make me happy, but I want you to appreciate it for what it is, you know, for the beauty of the product. And if I ever visit Serbia, and I hope I will, apart from visiting our fans, if you know Novak Djokovic, tell him I like to beat him. So, you know, if he beats me, I give him a perfume.
I to je bilo to što se tiče ovog videa. Naravno, bilo je jako zanimljivo, tako da ako vam se dopao ovaj video, ako vam se dopala ova priča, obavezno ostavite like i naravno, ako hoćete da pratite moj rad, obavezno kliknite subscribe. Ja sam Viktor.
Ja sam Janevac.
I mi se vidimo u narednom klipu. Ćao! Great!